Hi guys! Welcome back to our channel, Life Lessons. Lagi po nating tandaan, your past does not define your future. And definitely, it does not define who you are. Ang importante po ay natuto tayo sa ating mga pagkakamali, bumangon mula sa pagkakadapa, at gumawa ng paraan para mapabuti ang ating kalagayan. At higit sa lahat, hindi tayo nawawala ng pag-asa, tiwala sa sarili at sa Panginoon. So, it's been a long time na hindi ko nababanggit yung battle cry natin, and so I made sure I mention it as an introduction for this video kasi ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon ay mga reflections or mga lessons learned sa mga recent events, sa mga nangyayari ngayon sa ating iniidolo at hinahangaang grupo, yung SB19 or tinatawag nating mahalima na sina Pablo, Josh, Stel, Justin, and Ken.
If you've been following SB19, you must have known by now that the group is facing some legal issues about using their group name SB19. Though the group is still quiet about it, but you must have seen a lot of talks and discussions around this issue in different social media platforms. And this speculation started when there was a back-to-back cancellation of their Pagtatag Asia Tour concerts. It started with the cancellation of their Singapore concert, followed by Bangkok, and recently the cancellation of Dubai concert. And because we don't know the whole story and what's the real status of this issue today, in this video, let's reflect on what we can learn out of this situation as an outsider, as an A-team, or as an individual. First, we all know that every decision has its pros and cons. Yes, too many questions were asked, and maybe you're wondering too, how did they end up into this situation? Don't they know about the legalities? Well, as I said, we really don't know the full story yet, but there can be two possibilities. First, they must have anticipated some of this risk. Sabi nga ng iba, think twice before you leap. And if they have foreseen this, that just means that they needed to take this risk if it means gaining their full freedom later on. And the other possibility is that maybe they may have overlooked this matter, and just like any of us, we too make mistakes. And all we need to do in this situation is learn from it, take the learnings with you, fail fast, get up, pivot where necessary, and move forward. Another reminder that we can learn from this is that sometimes our plans don't go our way, but it doesn't mean it's the end. These situations could just mean delay, a detour preventing you from going to the wrong path. It's normal for plans to fail. Sometimes things does not go our way. This means redirection. It's a reminder that there is somebody up there who knows best. It may not be favorable this time, but trust me, his plans are always better than ours. It could also mean slow down. Enjoy the present while he is fixing things for you. And just like us, sometimes we're denied of that promotion or opportunity which you think you truly deserve. Sometimes you feel like you've given everything you can, and yet you're not progressing to where you thought you should be going. For me, situations like this reminds us to just do what you can and have that unwavering faith in him. Trust me, he will work wonders, and he see the work of your hands. He will give in the end what's truly meant for you in his time. The third thing that we can learn is that we shouldn't be too quick to judge. As human as we are, people cannot avoid speculating, and worse, we judge people too fast based on what we see or hear without knowing much or without even trying to understand their circumstances. Just like what happened recently. For sure, Ethan had mixed emotions and diverse reactions and opinion about how things are handled, be it on the cancellation of concerts or managing expectations. Some may be a bit unhappy about the absence of update from the group. Some may feel that some of the boys are insensitive with their social media posts without giving an update. But to be honest, They're just like us. Each of us have different coping mechanism when we are stressed or facing some problems. Some are quiet in social media and some are not. Some prefers to keep going on with their daily lives, looking fine from the outside but deeply troubled from the inside. And for that, we should respect each other's differences. For sure, as much as Pablo, Josh, Stel, Justin, and Ken want to update us on every single detail, they just can't. And we should be more understanding, as obviously, it is not an easy situation to be in. In the same way, 18 should not be judged because of their different thoughts or reactions. And lastly, all we can do is wait and stop spreading hate, whether towards Mahalima or towards the other parties or to fellow 18. Times like this calls us to be more united if we wish them well. Next is a question that's worth reflecting. How far or how long should one be indebted because of utang na loob? Utang na loob, or in English, debt of gratitude, is a very common Filipino trait. And yes, it is very important to acknowledge the people who have helped you, especially in times of needs. But too much of this also brings close-mindedness, especially when one decision is hindered, compromised, or judged just because it's not favorable to the other party. And with all these issues, there are still people who question the group why they left their company in just a very short span of time. After all, this is the company that shaped and trained them. Well, to be honest, if the contract stated an expiration period, that's already an indication that it's okay if they don't want to continue or renew. It shouldn't be construed as kawalan ng utang na loob, especially if the group has done its part. How about the years of training without salary, the time they've spent, their efforts, and most especially their biggest contribution, which is their talents and skills? But if there is one good thing that came out amidst all these issues, it is the overwhelming support and empathy from 18 all over the world. You must have seen that even with mixed views from 18, majority still opted to support and understand the group. They try hard to reach out to them. Some sent letters, gifts, or take it to social media to spread words of encouragement and strength for Mahalima. Some even suggested to help solve their problem even in financial terms. Isn't it such a pleasing thing to watch? That's the spirit of bayanihan. But what I truly hoped is that I hope we too are showing the same love and support to those close to us, our close friends, families, and even those who are in need. For sure, that's also one thing that Pablo, Josh, Stel, Justin, and Ken would love us to do, to also look after ourselves and our families, to extend time for others in need, and hope we also have that same overwhelming desire to be a force for good and to make God as also the priority in our lives. Only then can all this have deeper meaning and purpose. But there's one undesirable trait in Filipinos that's just appalling to see, and that is the crab mentality. Haters and bashers were mocking our Mahalima for the current issue that they're facing, and still wishing them to fail. Well, all I can say is let's not engage with this type of people. We can do nothing about how they behave, but I'm just so sorry that their own insecurities and envious behavior led them to cheer for others' misfortune. But there's another great thing that's so pleasing to watch, and that is the resilience and positivity of 18 and our Mahalima themselves. Despite the series of concert cancellations, 18 were unstoppable. They chose to spread positivity by showing their support to Mahalima. And look at how they arranged meetups on concert dates itself, starting from Singapore to Bangkok and Dubai just recently. and this is their way of showing encouragement to Pablo, Josh, Stel, Justin, and Ken. And it is with a common message of hope, with anticipation that one day soon Mahalima will come back stronger and that 18 will always remain and will be patiently waiting for their return. And lastly, if there's one thing that I appreciated about our Mahalima in this situation, that is their professionalism and grace under pressure. Well, we cannot deny the fact that there are still questions why, until now, we did not hear or receive any official statement from the group, which left fans hanging and wondering what's going on. But I'd like to assume that the lack of updates about the issue is part of the challenges they're facing, where the group is prevented from saying anything about the issue. Or they just opted not to, especially if it will not help in the fast resolution of the problem. Yes, and it can be tempting to post something in social media, but on the other hand, actually, I admire the silence. Have you seen them throwing negative comments against the other parties? No. Or have you seen them begging for pity or attention? No. Instead, they deal with it quietly and with grace, just like S1. Graceful and calm from the surface, but actually, they're frantically paddling underneath. Truly, this period is a pagtatag season. Ngayon, unti-unti nang nagpaparamdam sa atin ang grupo. And I know how it feels. Does it mean they'll be out of the woods soon? Well, I hope so. But no pressure. We will be right here, patiently waiting for your return, Mahalima. And when that time comes, it's gonna be a sweeter reunion. So Pablo, Josh, Stel, Justin, and Ken, we're looking forward to welcome you again, better, stronger, and wiser. Remember, 18 loves you, and we can't wait to see you again soon.